Hello everybody and welcome. In this video, we're gonna show how to work with the Python's Pandas DataFrame. So Pandas is a tools which we're gonna use into the Python environment to bring your data file from our hard disk and then work on it. To do so, we have to bring the pandas. You have to use the import pandas as anything. Say in this line, I have written import pandas as PD. So if we will run this line, so what will happen is pandas will be involved into the PD variable, and then we can bring the data file then. So if I guess everybody have pandas installed in their system, if not, then into the search bar we have to write down say anaconda prompt. So if you see anaconda prompt something like this, you can bring this screen for you, and then you have to write down pip install pandas, pandas pandas. So once if you hit enter, the pandas will uh, install for you. Since I have already installed before, so then that's why the system is saying that the requirement is already satisfied for me. That means this package is already installed for me in my system. However, if you don't have pandas installed in your system, you can do it like this way. Once after you install that, then you can bring it like this, as I said before, using this command, and then you have to run this command to run anything into the Jupyter notebook, because as you can see it is Jupyter notebook. You have to write down say control enter. So in here I have click the control enter button in here, and then I can bring the data file in my environment. So there is a data file I have in my hard disk which is called the USA housing CSV file. So let's go to the main directory where I have put that file. That is called the USA housing file, as you can see in the screen. And this file is a Microsoft Excel comma separated value file, as you can see from the screen. So from this browser Explorer, as you can see, we easily know what type of file is it. Since I am working at this moment this file, this is a IPython notebook file, and this data file is also located in the same directory. That's why in the program I don't need to mention any path. That's why I have written there that pd.read underscore csv and then the data file. So once if I write that, and then if I hit control enter, this data file came to a variable called data. So we will go through the various component of this file very soon. Let's see now how to bring another file which is called wa.xls. This is an Excel file. Once if you bring pandas in your Jupyter notebook environment, you have the ability to read any CSV file or Excel file. So one of the Excel file extension is called XLS, and then to read that Excel file, you have to write down something like pd.readXL, read underscore Excel, and the name of the file. And as we know that Excel file is having the name of the sheet, so name of that sheet is sheet number 1. So let's have a look that file. So this one is the file. So WA, this file is type of that file is Excel 97. So this kind of file, if this is an old format Excel file, if you have this kind of file, to read that file, you have to write down XLS. This is important thing to understand or know, because then I will explain some other things very soon. So once if you write down that and hit control enter, the data file of WA is in df variable for you at this moment. We have another data file in our hard disk called sample, but as you can see in here, type of that file is XLSX. So say let's go to the hard disk, and then this is the file. So this file is a sample XLSX file, and to bring that file, we have to write down something like pd.readXL, and then the extension of that file is XLSX, and the name of the file, and the sheet name is sheet 1. So if we hit say control enter, that data file is in df1 now. So before, remember, we bring our USA housing data file into a variable called a data variable. Now I would like to see various component of that data file. First of all, let's see how you can investigate head of the data file. That means some rows of that data file. So if you write down that variable, say the name of the variable is data and then dot head. So once if you write down that and then hit control enter, you will see first 5 rows from that data file. So similar way, if you write down say data dot or the variable name dot tail, then you will see the bottom 5 rows from that data file. One of the command in Python is called info. So if you write down say data.info, you will see various information about that data file, especially say how many entries over there, how many columns over there, and to name of all columns and the type of the data, and then um, it allowable, non null or not. So this is how you can see that. Another command name is describe. So if you write down say data variable dot describe, then it will give you the some statistical information about the data file. Say uh, uh, each variable, say there is a variable called average area income, there is a variable, and from that variable how many data entry there, what is the minimum value, what is the standard deviation, mean value, first quartile, median, and the third quartile or maximum value of that. So if the variable is like this kind of numerical data type, then you can get the statistical measurement about any variable or any column from that data file. If you have a data variable called data and you want to know how many column over there, you can use this command say data dot columns, and if you say control enter, then you will know how many columns is over there. Although you can know that from here, but if there are so many columns, you will be a little bit of confused. And also you know the shape of the data file. Shape means how many columns and how many rows over there. Say in that data file there are 5000 rows and 7 columns. That's why it gives the information in there. So one of the data variable or columns name is address, and that is object type. So say if you want to change the data file from one type to another, what you have to do is name the variable name, I mean the columns name. So data address type, I mean address column, and then you want to make it as a string. So what you have to write down is there is the data address as type string. So if you hit control enter, that variables become string data type. Another thing is you can get easily the mean value of any data columns. Say there is a data column called average area income. Although you can get it from the statistical measurement using describe command, but if you want to see individual result from there, you have to use this command, say data average area income mean value. Then if you want control enter, you will get the output from there. Get the first line only from only if you want to see the first line, you have to write down variable and then this command. And if you write down, if you see control enter, you will see the output of only as a first column from there. On the other hand, if you want to say drop any column, any name, any column from your data file, say there is a column name address and you don't want to see in from there. So what you have to do is data.drop name of the variable or column and then axis 1 in place equal to true. So if you hit control enter, that variable will not be available over there. Now if you see data.head and control enter, you will see that address is no more, so you cannot see address from there. And if you only write down say name of the variable say data, and if you hit Control Enter, you will see all the columns from say uh, first four and then first five, last five, and in between it will say dot dot. So that is total all the total rows over there. So from here also you can see that at this moment there are 5000 row, because it is 5001 row including the name of the column. So there are 5000 row and 6 columns all together. Say you want to remove all the rows having enable. What you have to do is you have to write down variable names and then dot drop na. So if you run this line, Control Enter, all the rows having na value will be removed from your data file. Once say let's do say one more example of the data file. Say we have a data file in our hard disk, and then we bring that data file into Jupyter Notebook. Say think about sample database set, and the data set name is df1 now. So if you write down df1, you will see all the data over there. So in that data file there are 100 rows. You will see first sum, bottom sum, and then in the middle it will dot dot, and then but you will have a feeling that there are 100 row and 8 columns. So if you press plus button over there, and you will get one more empty rows to write down your code. As we discussed before, so from this data file, so df1, if you want to see the head of them, then you have to write down df1 dot head. Then if you run this line, Control Enter, then you will see the first 5 rows from that data file. Similarly, as I said, if you want to see bottom 5 rows from that data file, you have to write down df1 dot tail, and then if you first parenthesis and Control Enter, you will see the bottom 5 rows from that data file. Similarly said, let's do one more practice. If you write down, if you want to know the information about this data file, what is the type of various variables, say you have to write down say df1 dot info. It will give you the information about that data file. What kind of information means how many columns over there, and what is the data type, is it integer or object or float or whatever. This is how you can get it. Another one important command, we said that if you want to see the description of the data file, you have to use data variable name and then describe. So describe, and then if you get the describe, then Control Enter, you will see that describe, I mean the statistical measurement from there, which the all the variables whichever is having the numerical value. So if any variable having numerical value, say there is a row and there is a column named date, but using the describe you will not see any information because it is not a numerical data type. Since the data type is an integer type, int64, that's why we can see that age is having various statistical measurement including mean, count, standard deviation, first quartile, second quartile, and median value and maximum value. Similar way id as well, which is also an integer type of data. So this is how we can say this, using this is a very important command for pandas. So until now this is our description. Another thing is one more important command we need to know. If you have a data file and then you want to write down that one into your hard disk, what you have to do is using data variable name and then dot to csv. Say our data file was, say we want to write down df1. df1 was our data file, and df1 dot to csv into data and the file name temp.csv. So if you hit down Control Enter, this file will be written into the hard disk, name gonna be temp.csv. So let's go there and investigate. See, this one was the file came just now. So say because you can see the time in here, so 10 p.m. 18:18. So this is the file. So if you open this file, you will see that the system add write down that data file for you in this CSV format. So until now, this is our discussion relation to the Python and Panda. We will come back soon more and more data science related video and Python related video like this. Those who didn't subscribe this channel, please do so. And thanks for watching, and then goodbye. Bye bye.